Hello, everyone, Coppa students and families. And we want to take a second to welcome you and thank you for attending this webinar for the Conservatory Majors. Just to take a moment to introduce myself and the rest of the panel. My name is Molly McClelland. I'm the director of the Center for Student Success. We have with us Angelo Gargaro, who is our moderator today. Michael Elko, who oversees tutoring services, Amy Kier, who works with our dancers. Kate Pieratt has all of the theater arts majors, and Ashley Davis handles all of the cinema arts majors. So again, welcome and thank you for taking time out of this beautiful day to join us in our virtual spaces. I'm always looking to make sure everything is clean and that there's not a child running behind us. So with that being said, we're ready to go. And I wanted to first just introduce you to the Center for Student Success and the services that we offer. And then we'll open it up for questions for all of you. Our goal really is to make sure that you're as comfortable as you can possibly be after this hour, and that you've met the people who are going to be helping you throughout your 4 years here at Point Park. Really the name of our game and the reason that we do this work is the great relationships that we get to have with students. And this is our opportunity, in spite of the circumstances that we're in, to make sure that you get to know us and that you get to feel comfortable before you even get to step foot on our campus. So the Center for Student Success has a number of functions. We really consider ourselves the place to go when you kind of don't know where to go on campus. We are responsible for undergraduate advising, so all of your course registration, the decisions that you make, if you want to study abroad, if you want to declare another major, another minor, whatever the case may be, the processes and services all start with us.
Tell Daddy.
We also are home to disability services and tutoring services. So if you've received an accommodation in high school, the chances are we can replicate something similar to that in the college environment. We are going to be having another webinar later this summer in July for any student who is interested in talking through the accommodations process and what that might look like. And finally, we're home to tutoring services. So with that, I'm going to introduce you to the divine Michael Elko, and he can talk to you about the academic supports that we offer for our undergraduate students.
Just to piggyback on what Molly said, CSS offers, as one of its resources for you, tutoring services. So I'm going to talk about that briefly, and then in July we're going to have a little more in-depth webinar about tutoring services and disability services, and I encourage you to join that webinar. You will get an invite, I believe so, Angelo, right? Everybody's going to get an invite. Okay. And all right, tutoring services. We're here. We're here to help you. If you need some help with your coursework, we have professional tutors, peer tutors, and we also have academic coaches that we use. And we'll get into that in a little more depth in the July webinar. But peer tutors, I rely on them a lot, and you will find them invaluable. All tutors I rely on, but you have somebody who's taken the course. So somebody who's probably had the instructor that you might have. We split tutoring into two sections, which is the tutoring center and the writing center. The tutoring center covers the STEM courses and humanities courses that you will be taking at Point Park as part of your thematic core. And we have the writing center, which is cross-curricular and provides support for you at any stage in the writing process. We are both, right now we're completely online during COVID, but for the fall, we'll probably be a hybrid, on ground and online. We'll definitely stay remote and always have online services. So I just want you to know that we're here for you. And there's a website you might want to look at after this webinar. I don't know, Angelo, could you throw that up in the, oh, did you already do it? Thank you, sir.
Posted. Yep.
Okay, so that's our tutoring scheduling program, and that also tells you what courses we cover. While we would love to cover every course, that's kind of impossible with all the selections we have, but we have you covered, especially during your first and second year. And of course, I always get a phone call during these, please. Sorry about that. There. Sorry about that, but I'm going to turn it back to the Master of Ceremonies, Angelo Gargaro, here in a second. He's going to introduce you to your CSS coordinators. But I just want you to know that I encourage you to use this resource. We're here to help you. We want to see you succeed. That's our goal. And I look forward to seeing some of you in the fall. Angelo?
All right, Michael, Elko, thank you very much for the information on
this. And close. People, that's called method acting.
So as Michael alluded to, there is a main chat in the webinar. I did post the link to the tutoring and writing centers with the university going remote during the spring. We did transition tutoring to online remote sessions. That is still up and running, and we will approach it in the fall as we need to. My name is Angelo Gargaro. I am the success coordinator for the School of Business at Point Park University. I am very honored and happy to be the moderator here today with your Coppa coordinators. So we have Amy Kier, who is the coordinator for dance. Kate Pieratt, Kate, am I saying that right? I should know.
You did.
Who is
you did it good.
There we go. Who is the coordinator for theater, and last but not least, Ashley Davis, who is the coordinator for cinema. So here's how this will go. You can ask your questions via the questions box in the GoToWebinar control panel. There's already a lot coming in, so be patient. We'll get to them as we go. I may address these to individual coordinators or general, maybe depending on the major. So to help me out, when you ask a question, if you know your specific major, if it's dance, theater, maybe try to put it in there so I can direct a question to the correct coordinator. If not, we'll find a way to get there. All the questions are private, and we will answer them generally. When you exit the webinar, there will be a survey that you can fill out. 3 questions. Please take the time to do so. Without further ado, let's dive into this. So this first question I'm going to direct to Amy. Is it normal for freshmen to not have as many core classes for the first semester?
For us, yes, that's normal. That's what we see every semester. The way that the conservatory lays out their classes is they start you guys right in your major right away. I mean, from day one, you're integrated in your major classes. And in that first year, you're taking the 3 freshman core classes, Com 101, University 101, and English 101. That's a requirement for all of our freshmen across the entire university. And we put those on your schedule. We get you really integrated in your major, and you can start to pick up more core classes, and everything that you need is all laid out for you. And that'll start in the spring and then again next year in the sophomore year.
There's a question that came through, and this may be major specific, but the question is revolving around experiences with internships and experiential learning. Does that exist in any of these programs? And if so, when can students begin to experience those things?
So with cinema arts, you can start taking internships after you've completed your sophomore year. And so that would be when you would start looking, is when you're maybe in spring of sophomore year, you might start reaching out to the cinema department to see, what's available, what am I interested in? And they do have to be for credit. So you can't do any internships that are not for credit at Point Park with cinema.
An internship for dance is not required. So if a student is interested in that, you can reach out to the faculty department and they can help you with that. Likely internships will begin after the sophomore year as well.
And that's the same for cinema as dance. Talk with your faculty if you're interested in doing something. Summer is going to be a great time with summer stock options and things like that going on. So you could start that after your freshman year, but you really have to talk to your faculty about specifics.
Molly, I'm going to have you answer this next one. The question is, does it look like we'll be starting the year in person? If so, do you still anticipate an August 31st start date?
So we've been contingency planning here for the last few weeks, and we'll be making some announcements here within the next couple of weeks. But we're 100% told that we will be on campus. There are no indications that we're starting early. There is some discussion around maybe leaving early just to make sure that we can really preserve and maintain the health and safety of our students and our employees. But we want to make sure that whatever we're doing, that we're front loading the instructional time and what you need in the first half of the semester. Because as we all know, this is really, these decisions are in flux and are changing so rapidly. But one thing that we can guarantee is that we will be in person on ground to start the semester. And from there, as Dr. Fauci would say, the virus determines what we do. So fingers crossed and good vibes that we get to maintain and be with you all for the entirety of the semester. This has been a wonderful way to really meet the needs of our students here temporarily. We made it a point to not lose any of the personal feel or the services provided to students. So we've had a really great trial run to be able to make sure that we have the technology and that we're all savvy enough to be able to meet students on whatever platform they choose. So we're prepared for it, but it's certainly our hope as an entire university community to be there and to be with everybody for the entirety of the first semester. One thing to note though is that the way that the academic calendar runs is that most of the instructional time happens prior to Thanksgiving. When we get back from Thanksgiving break, it's like a mad sprint to the finish. It's largely just kind of wrapping up and final exams, final projects in those last couple of weeks. So, that's kind of the sweet spot. If we did have to transition to online for the remainder of the semester, most of what you need to get in terms of your instruction will happen prior to that.
Thank you, Molly. This next question will be for Amy. The question is it realistic to consider double majoring if in the BFA dance track?
So the dance BFA program already writes in the possibility for a minor to complete a minor on time in the 4 years as a part of your program. We've spent a lot of time adjusting the program so that you can do that. When it comes to a double major, we really need to sit down and look at what additional major you're looking at, because at a minimum it's 150 credits. And this goes for every major, theater and cinema. Considering a double major really is a specific conversation between which two majors are you doing, when are you hoping to complete them by. If I answer that honestly, 4 years, 18 credits a term, it's kind of hard. Doesn't mean it's impossible. We can sit down and show you how to do that, summer classes, things like that. But once you're here, all of the coordinators meet with their students in the fall, usually in October. Ladies, am I right? October-ish. And we will talk about minors, double majors. When do I start my minor? How can I take some cinema classes? How can I take some dance classes? We lay all of that out for you with your program.
Amy, here's another one for you. Are modern dance majors eligible for taking ballet and point classes?
Yes, so every BFA dance major takes all 3 technique areas, ballet, modern, and jazz. If you're a BA student, you also have the opportunity to take those areas. You just don't take them as frequently.
I'm not sure who to direct this one to, so I'm going to put this up for the group. A condition of my scholarship is participating in a talent apprenticeship. Can you please explain what that is and how I get involved with it? Anybody?
So I know that this is what I know about the apprenticeship, and Amy and Ashley, step in. I know that you reach out once you get here in the fall, and that it's kind of, you reach out to different departments that you're interested in. I know for theater, like if you're interested in the costume shop, I know they offer apprenticeships through that. And so you would work with the costume shop on setting up your apprenticeship time, hours. I don't know if each individual department has an interview process. I think everybody does it a little differently. But if you're certainly interested in something specific, I know at least for theater, you could go on and start reaching out and see if you can hear back from anybody. So that's what I know.
Do a quick little search for apprenticeships. The apprenticeships are handled by the department. So that is also a good place for you to start, is reaching out to the department administrators, and they should be able to give you that. I know that each department will be doing their own little orientation to go over some of these specifics: dress code, apprenticeships, work study, those types of things. So just be a little patient with that information, and it will definitely come out.
Amy, here's another for you. The dance majors are alive and well in the webinar today. For dance majors, are studio classes being modified for sizing?
So I'm going to answer this as a general question, because as a part of our university protocols, we are taking all of that into consideration. So not just for dancers, but theater majors, business majors, sports majors, every major, the way that we're operating, they're putting a plan in place to make sure that we have the safety of all of our students and faculty and staff at the forefront of what we do. So yes, some of those classes will definitely be smaller. We're adjusting the number of students and the size of the classroom and all of those things. So your safety is very important, and we will adjust.
This next question is pretty general. It is, should we purchase our books ahead of time or wait for the first class? Also, where is the best place to buy them? Just to jump in real quick, I know with my students, and it may be very different in the Coppa programs, I always tend to advise for them to wait until they get a syllabus or speak to the instructor. Sometimes instructors will provide handouts or printouts, or they'll even say the book is optional. And I personally don't want my students spending money on a book that they may not need. Ladies, is there any other advice you would give?
Good advice.
I'll jump in on mine. I'll jump in. What I tell students, it's one of the major concerns, especially with freshmen. They like to, everybody likes to have their book on their desk because that's what you're used to doing. What Angelo said is totally the case. You may have an instructor that says, I've decided not to use the book, and then you're stuck with a book, or you're trying to figure out how to return a book. With the tools that we currently have, I mean, Amazon Prime, especially during COVID, has been the godsend. So they come within a week, so you can have access, you can have like e-books. There are ways to rent textbooks. So there are so many different options that having them on the first day of class isn't necessary, because you can always quickly get the materials in advance of your next class. We're also, as a university, starting to explore open educational resources, OERs. We recognize the expense that colleges in and of itself related to tuition and all these ancillary costs, commuting, books, transportation, can be very expensive and another burden on students and families. So there is really a push for faculty to start thinking about these open resources so that students are able to just download what they need, that things are able to be posted. The one silver lining of COVID has been that it's really forced us as professionals in higher education to think beyond the confines of what we typically do. So we're learning to use resources and platforms that we always thought could be coming down the pike, but you're always dealing with what you need to do in the moment. So this has kind of made us accelerate the processes for exploring how do we get materials to students if and when we're not in person. The library has been remarkable at increasing the amount of resources that are available on reserve. And I can say that I can see that will continue to happen. Another thing that I've often done, particularly now moving into graduate study, is to ask the instructor if you can use an older version of a textbook. So many times it's like, Angelo's hipster shirt would be more appropriate in a text than something that was, in 10 years ago. And they're just updating pictures and fashions. And, so what's the need for, for a humanities discipline? How much has it changed? that you need to buy a new text. Probably not. Now, technology courses are often more accelerated and come with access codes and those sorts of things. So those are the texts that you'll probably not be able to work around as easily. But many faculty members are really thinking about what the cost incurred is to students and trying to work to get more free materials to students.
Thanks, Molly.
So
This next question, there's two, there's, what's that?
I said, so wait, don't buy them in advance. Long story short.
There we go. This next question, there's two. The question is, what math classes do we take? I don't know if that differs between the programs. The second question from the same person was, is there any tutoring for math? And I'll just answer that. Yes, there is a lot of tutoring for math. And if Michael wanted to weigh in any more on that, he could. But ladies, do you have anything to weigh in on what math classes they may be taking in their first academic year?
Well, for theater, you won't be taking math probably your first fall or spring, just with all of your required theater classes, and also the 3 freshman core, which is University 101, Com 101, and English 101, unless you're a transfer student, and then we can talk about that individually. But then for theater, there is no set specific math class you have to take, other than you have to take it from the required mathematics core list.
Same for dance. The mathematics core list has, I think, 6 math classes in it, a real basic math and algebra, statistics. I mean, you do have some option, but it's 1 required math class for dance and theater. Ashley, same for you?
Same for cinema. Yep, just pick off the required list, whatever math you're comfortable with.
So just 1 class. Woohoo!
There we
We
go.
definitely have you covered. We see most students from Coppa in either Math 150 or Math 165, which is basic algebra is 164, and Math 150 is like math for non-math majors.
The mathematical experience, it's called.
Take
This
2.
next question
Math 150 is mathematical experience.
Yes.
This next question is for Kate. Can you take cinema classes as a music theater major?
So the answer is no. Besides, there is this Cine 170 class, which is for non-majors, screenwriting for non-majors. So you definitely can take that. It's part of the core. So that's open to you. Now, if there is a little bit of interest in screenwriting, there is a minor available, which you'd have to declare your minor in screenwriting to take it, but then you could take those cinema classes that way.
All right, thank you, Kate. So this next question, it may be difficult for us to answer. I'm going to direct this one to Amy, though. What do the acting performance classes, this may be Kate as well then, look like in Coppa if you are doing a hybrid program on campus? Do we have any insight to provide on that?
I can share a little bit in terms of what we've talked about in the conservatory offices. This has been a really unique scenario, all of us working through this, and I'm pleased to say that the change has been extremely exciting. The faculty are coming up with new ways to teach and new information to share and new ways to learn your craft and perform. So it'll be a little bit different, but at the same time, they're very excited about it. As you know, as an employee, it was very exciting to hear them and to be a part of those dialogues. So I think it might be a little different than what you're used to, but I think performance is a little bit different now, and they're preparing for all of those things. You've got phenomenal educators that are going above and beyond to really make this an exciting fall semester and future for performance.
Thank you, Amy. This next question is for Kate. Are there any guitar classes? If so, Kate, can I sign up for them as well?
That would be awesome. There are not any 4-credit guitar classes, and the only possibility would be a community class through Point Park, but I haven't seen that list to know if guitar will be offered. Private voice is definitely offered through community class, as well as dance classes, and sometimes piano. So, but yeah, guitar would be fun.
There was a
It
drumming
would be
class
fun.
last fall.
Was
Oh,
there?
yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And just so everybody knows right now, I have posted all the emails for the success coordinators here for Coppa. So if you ever need to get in contact with them, if you have a question, a follow-up after this, you can find their email now in the main chat. Let's move on to the next question. This one, I believe, will be for Kate. How many shows do we do a year for theater arts majors, and how many of them are plays versus musicals?
Well, I guess that's a little bit of a complex question. So if you're asking if at the Playhouse, like the conservatory shows, or if you're talking about just in classes, I know that right now I believe there's going to be 2 musicals, or at least 1 musical for the Playhouse shows, and then the rest are plays, and they're all very different, and they sound exciting. So and every year's a little bit different. So I would just say stay tuned, and especially talk with your faculty. You'll learn more as you go throughout the semester as to what kind of shows you're going to participate in. As freshmen and even as transfer students, you are required to work crew for 1 show, so you'll be hands-on for at least 1 show per semester.
Thank you, Kate. Amy, this question is for you. I know you do a lot of work with the AP stuff. How do we get credits for AP courses?
So once your AP scores have been finalized, you want to request that they're sent to Point Park. That goes directly to your admissions counselor. The college board sends those to us. We usually get them in the beginning to mid-July, and once they come in, they're evaluated. This is for every major on campus. If you meet the score requirement and you earn credit, then you will get that credit applied to your Point Park transcript. You will get information from admissions that has happened. And then we are alerted that you got the credit. And should you be registered for a class that you got AP credit for, we will automatically make that change to your schedule so that you're not taking a class that you've already earned credit for. That does happen the middle of July, late July. So a little bit of patience with waiting for that to come from the college board, and we'll get those switches made for you right away. We'll also alert you that a change was made.
Amy, here's another for you. What is the dress code for dance majors in classes? All black, colors, etc.
You'll get that information from the conservatory. Sarah Cowling will send the dance handbook to everybody. It will give you information like what is the dress code, what can you wear, where you can buy stuff locally if you're coming from out of state. They cover all of that. I will personally reach out to Sarah today to see when that's coming, and I bet she sends it soon.
Thank you, Amy. This may be a combo answer from both Amy and Kate. I'm a musical theater major, but I was wondering what the process is like to become a dance minor.
You want to answer that, Amy, or do you want me?
Yeah, so any student that is interested in doing a dance minor, there is an audition. Typically it happens in November. Sometimes it happens in March. I just don't want to say November and then it happened in March. It'll just kind of see how things play out in the fall. As a dance minor, you don't start that dance minor until your sophomore year, so it really doesn't matter when the audition is. But once you're accepted, you'll get a fun little list from me that tells you all the classes that you have to take, and you'll work with your advisor, Kate or Ashley, and they'll be able to help you put those dance classes right into your sequence in your major.
Thanks, Amy. This next one is for Kate. As an acting major, can the student add voice lessons to their schedule?
Not your first semester. Definitely you'll want to talk in the fall to Tim Marquette, who handles all of the private voice. There is a waiting list, and so you'll want to definitely get on that. There are the singing for actors class or principles of singing is usually required, so you'll want to talk with Tim about getting on the wait list for that.
Molly, this one might be a good one for you to weigh in on. Someone's asking about Foundations of Success program. When will they be receiving details about the program, dates of attendance, what should be done in advance, etc.?
Yeah, so I just actually made a note because that's supposed to be going out through the admissions office. Sometimes it does our information will tend to get sent to your spam, so you might want to just check there to see if something was sent to the spam folder. Foundations will be on ground unless the governor tells us we can't. So students who are resident students will be able to move into the dormitories early on August the 15th. We start the program on August 17th, which is the Monday. There will be included in that information that's being sent out to you a reading assignment for one of the modules that we do when you come to campus, and some assignments just so that discussions can be more robust and that you can really engage with some of your instructors in a more in-depth way. We cover quantitative reasoning, college success skills, information literacy, and reading, writing, and listening component. You get to meet all of the coordinators and work with them prior to the start of campus. We take you through all of the resources that are available to you on campus and introduce you to all our partners across campus. And we make sure that for conservatory students, we kind of fold into the Pioneer Experience, which is the orientation program. Again, all of that is slated to go on ground and in person as it always was. So we won't let you miss any of your department introductions or anything like that. We work to make sure that you fold in and that you get that information and get to be meeting your conservatory peers as well.
Thank you, Molly. The next question is for Kate. Are there opportunities for study abroad as an acting musical theater major?
Yes, there are. This past year was their first year. For the musical theater students, they had a few that went over to London to study for a semester. So that was definitely a new, exciting experience. And that happened for 3 juniors this year. So you'll learn about that definitely in the fall. I know that a lot of theater students do take summer opportunities abroad because that's the easiest with all of the required theater courses. They can take some different fun, exciting courses in Italy and Ireland. So when you get here in the fall, you can set up a meeting with me and we can kind of talk about it, where it could fit in your schedule.
Can I jump in there, Angelo?
Please.
Study abroad is available to everybody at the university. We have a study abroad office, and that office offers information sessions every single semester. So as a freshman, even as a transfer student, if you're interested, go to the information session in the fall. Amanda Anderson is the woman who takes care of that. And it's a great time to just start thinking about what might it look like? When should I consider it? What will I need to do? And she's really helpful and will help you get through that. And it is available to every major on campus.
Mm-hmm. And there were a few questions that I'm seeing coming through about study abroad. So if you have a question about study abroad, as Amy's saying, it's recommended to join or visit that fair and also get in contact with Amanda Anderson with Student Life for more information. Mm-hmm. Amy, this one I'm going to direct to you. Is being part of both Coppa and the honors program tangible?
Yes, absolutely. Being a part of the honors program for every major is completely tangible. The honors requirement is that you take 18 credits of honors-based courses. Many freshmen take 3 to 6 credits already in their freshman fall semester. You finish half of that by the end of your freshman year. So very, very tangible, very doable. And you'll get information from the honors program about some different opportunities that they have, different programming that they may offer, but absolutely doable.
There's another question surrounding the math classes, maybe for clarity. Are there specific math classes that Coppa students have to take? Like in the School of Business, college algebra, you have to take, there's no option. Are there any there are no required math?
Nope, they choose one of the 5 or 6 options that are out there. And typically, Coppa students do not take math in their first year.
Perfect. Amy, this is for you as a dance major. When can I find out more about doing a dual major?
We'll talk about that in the fall. We'll do some registration meetings. We'll talk about minors and double majors. Your fall schedule is pretty set. You don't declare any of those things until you get here. So we'll meet, we'll talk, and I'll show you how to do all that.
Thank you, Amy. This one is for Kate. How many dance classes do the musical theater majors take?
It really depends on the student, but you are definitely required. You have 7 credits worth of dance electives of jazz, ballet, and modern. And then you are already in your freshman year going to be taking ballet 111 and 121. So 9 for sure. More if you want.
All right. Thank you for that, Kate. Let's see.
Let me follow with, I just want to dance, Kate. I just want to dance.
I get that a lot.
And I don't know where all our cinema students are. I need to get some questions over to Ashley here. I don't want her to feel lonely. This one's going to Kate, though. Is it hard to minor in musical theater if I'm in the BFA acting program?
Yes, but it is not out of the realm of possibility. It just means we would need to meet pretty much in the fall to kind of plan out how you would be able to do that. Because it's just both BFA acting and the musical theater minor are both rigorous. And so we just kind of have to plan out how you could fit in all the classes and still graduate on time.
All right, next one. This will go to Amy. For ballet majors in the fall semester, is registration done for students?
I think so. I've registered, we all have registered all of our students. Everyone should have a schedule for fall. You should have received an email saying that your schedule was ready. Should you have a question about it, though, please certainly send me a message and let me know. I'm human, certainly can make a mistake. So if something doesn't look right or you have a question, just let me know. I'm happy to look at it for you.
All right, we're moving along, and we are right around the 12:45 Eastern mark, which means we have about 15 minutes left. Looking at the amount of questions that we have remaining, I don't anticipate getting to all these. So there will be some follow-up that we'll do after all the questions that have already been presented. We will see these after the webinar, and I believe it will be our goal to try to follow up on any specific questions. Amy, are you also going to have another resource available?
Sure. If there's still some questions, I'm certainly happy to jump over. We have a platform called Big Blue Button. Angelo can post that link in the site, and if you have more questions, I'll stick around and answer them for you.
I think we're going to have a few left. So if you are in the dance programs, I'm going to post the link here after the webinar concludes. Do not
for any of them.
Okay.
Angelo, yeah, anyone who wants to pop over there, I'll do my best.
Okay, there we go. So anybody in this webinar, and we still have 15 minutes, so don't leave me just yet. I'm just posting the link right now. After we conclude this webinar, if you still have some further questions, concerns, you can join the Big Blue Button link that I posted, and Amy will be there to follow up with a few other answers. But again, if you asked a question and we don't get to it, we will have a report after, and we'll follow up and get you a response here in the coming days. All right, let's see what's next. Kate, what are the hour requirements for a minor for musical theater students?
So the number is 23 to 24, but a lot of it depends on what your major is, because some of those classes are worked already in. So you wouldn't have to take an extra 24. I know for some of the acting classes, you don't have to repeat. So it's just major specific how many you'd have to take for the minor.
And for dancers interested in musical theater minor, that audition will happen in the spring, usually happens in February, March, and you will start that minor in your sophomore year. It's all laid out. You can do the musical theater minor with your BFA, no problem at all.
Same thing for theater.
This next one is for Kate. Can a freshman acting major take a dance class?
The only possibility is TAP, Dance 105, but you don't have room in your schedule until potentially your spring semester, but really dance classes can't start till your sophomore year. Only very rarely could you take it your first year.
All right, we're bringing in Ashley.
We mentioned community classes earlier. Point Park does have community classes that are often taught by the faculty So jump on the website and look up community classes. And the schedule might not be up yet because they're still working through some of the summer programs, but there are ways for you to take stuff for not credit at a reduced price. So take a look at that sometime this summer.
This next question is for Ashley. We may need to follow up with the student after this, but here's the question. I'm a theater arts BFA student, and my schedule has a production 1 class that has its own schedule. When will I get that schedule, and what will it look like?
That's actually for me.
Is it? I'm sorry.
You will get that is your production assignment. So that's your required 2-week over at the Playhouse. Alicia DeGiorgio is the one that handles that. And you usually won't get that until right before school starts. So they always say, don't make any travel plans until you know your assignment. Because sometimes it does kind of, your assignment, your production assignment does affect travel, like around Thanksgiving and whatnot.
Thank you, Kate. Amy, are dance BFA jazz concentration students able to take points?
Yes. It's not a requirement of your degree, but you've got some room there that you can do that. If you're looking to do it in the fall semester, please send me an email. It's not typical just because we want to make sure that you're on track to take the prerequisites for your future semesters. But if it's something that you really want to do, we can, and there's room in the class, we can do that. Spring semester really opens up for all of you dancers. You do get to pick your own schedule. You do get to pick your electives. Part of the reason that we build that schedule for you in the fall is we don't want to pick your electives. We don't know what you want to take and what your interests are. So we leave all those electives and all those you get to chooses over in the spring semester. So hang tight and we'll get them over in spring.
Thanks, Amy. This is a general one for anybody. Are Coppa Productions shows still planned for the fall? Will audiences be allowed in the theaters?
I do know that the Playhouse did announce their season, and the departments are absolutely planning for production. Much more than that, that information has not been released from the university, just waiting through the COVID protocols and regulations. So as soon as they know, I know that they're planning on getting that information out to people, but we've got our fingers crossed.
Thank you, Amy. Let's see what we got next. Thank you, everybody, by the way, for all these questions. Very, very good questions.
Good questions.
This is a general one. Can international students apply for apprenticeships or jobs on campus?
I recommend that you go through the international office. The international office is your go-to. They will not steer you wrong. They know all the ins and outs of specific to you and what you're allowed to do and not allowed to do. So Amanda Avampato, Rebecca Lee, they are your contacts there. They will guide you and direct you. Please reach out to them for the answer to that question.
All right, and I am posting the main email in the chat for the international students office. So you can also email their alias email and get some information there. Thank you, Amy, for that. For musical theater BFA students, is there an open to take additional voice instruction?
You will have a voice lesson every semester. So you'll have every once a week, you'll have voice lessons. So you won't have room to take extra than that. That'll be pretty solid for you guys.
Amy, are there dance stores and places to be fitted for dance shoes near campus for those of us coming from out of state?
Yes, Sarah has a list of all of that information. I will reach out to her today to get that Coppa handbook sent out to you guys. It will have all of that information, and I'm sure she'll be sending that out very soon.
Thank you very much, Amy. Let's see, I'm trying to multitask here. Are some freshmen being put into night classes due to COVID and different pandemic reasons? Are we seeing anything like that in Coppa, ladies?
Well, I will say that right now for theater, you are not permitted to take evening classes except Monday night when the theater's dark. Otherwise, you will not have anything after 5:50, Tuesday through Sunday.
For dance majors, same thing. You can only take Monday evening classes when the theater is dark. However, freshmen should not have any night classes. Should that change as we learn more? Possibly, but right now, the three of us take into consideration the conservatory programming schedule. There's a common hour, there's time for productions, there's time for rehearsals, and when we're building your schedule, we take all of that into consideration. So we don't schedule you during the common hour, we don't schedule you at times when you shouldn't be in class because of rehearsals. We're very conscientious about making sure that you can get to all the places you need to.
Cinema
There was a question.
Sorry. Cinema's a little bit different. There are some sections of your required first semester classes that do have a night class option. And then, of course, there are some night sections of things like English 101, University 101. I mean, we try, our best not to be putting you in times that don't work and times that seem a little bit out there, but especially with COVID going on, we don't really know if we're going to be able to have all the classes during the middle of the day. So there might be more night classes. We just have to wait and see.
Thank you, Ashley. There was a question that came through that I'll answer here real quick. If there is a minor for mass communication, from my research right now on our website, I saw one for 2019 listed. I would assume that there will be one then for the 2020 academic year. It is 18 credits. There's 4 classes that you would take and then 2 electives. If you want more information on that, you can go to pointpark.edu and just type in communication minor and you'll see the degree requirement sheet from there. Emily Quedetto is the advisor for MassComm, but you would still be working directly with your success coordinator. So I would advise you reach out to your success coordinator that you're seeing here today for more information regarding minors. All right, we have about 7 minutes to go. We're still riding along with these questions. Thank you everybody for participating. And just as a reminder, as you go to exit the webinar, there will be a 3-question survey. Please just take a moment to fill it out. It will help us facilitate these better in the future and also to follow up with you all after. I reposted again Amy's session via big blue button. All you have to do is click on that link, type in your name, and then you'll be able to go and follow up with her after this session as well.
And Angelo, I'm going to send you a link for my big blue button so you can post it, just so in case there's any other theater questions.
Perfect. I'll get that out there as soon as Kate sends that to me. Kate, you can email it to me if you want. Have that open.
Angelo,
Perfect.
some people in the questions are saying they're not sure where to see the links that you're posting.
Thank you, Ashley. So there is a, in the GoToWebinar control panel, you should see a drop-down arrow that says chat next to it. There should really only be like 2 or 3 little drop-downs. One is for the questions that you're asking, and one is for the general chat where everybody should be able to see the links that I am posting. Also, when you leave the webinar, if you have questions or if you need access to anything, you can email myself. I'm putting that in the chat as well, or it's agaro@pointpark.edu, and I can help direct you where you need to go from there. Amy, negotiating and understanding a dancer's contract is important. Will dancers take a course related to this topic?
They do. There are different seminars that occur throughout your 4 years, and then each time it builds on it for you. Junior and senior year, they really go into depth with this, but they do cover that. Portfolios, all of those things.
This question's somewhat specific, but I think it kind of asks a general question at the same time. How can I get involved in being a part of student government? Is there time in Coppa schedule for that? Really, the general question I think that exists here that I see a lot, not being in Coppa, is there time in the Coppa schedule to do other things? As we've saw, there's questions about, is there time to do a minor? Is there a time to do a double major? Can you study abroad? does this kind of opportunity exist for Coppa students as well to get involved with government, student government, with student-run groups, things like that?
Absolutely. I'll answer for dance specifically. The dance department wants students to be well-rounded individuals, and they really want students to get involved on campus. There's a number of organizations. I know they will have a student organization fair, usually the first week of the semester, so you want to go and see what opportunities are there. I won't lie, the dancer schedule is tight. But there's absolutely time for a life. We have students who work, students who serve at the university, all sorts of different things. So lots of opportunity.
I'm also seeing a lot of questions come in right now, still speaking about AP credits and where those apply, how those apply. You can always ask specifically to your coordinator, but what I would like to do right now is provide the email to the registrar's office. Ultimately, they are the ones that review transcripts and AP credit. And so I think that if there are specifics on have transcripts been received, why did something apply or something didn't, I think you may be best to reach out to them. So I want to give a blanket kind of response to a few that I'm seeing here about that. Amy, I think you touched on this briefly. How can we sign up for those community classes that you were referencing?
You want to go to the website and search community classes. I don't believe that the fall schedule is up yet, just because they just finalized the summer programming. So put it on your to-do list and keep checking all summer. Once it is up, Heidi is her first name, and I don't know her last name at the moment, but Heidi will help you. There's a couple different students that work in that office as well, and they get you registered. You can wait till you're on campus. Nothing starts until, I think it's maybe a week or two into the semester. It doesn't start on day one of the semester. So you have plenty of time to get to campus, check things out, and then get registered if it's something that you want to do.
And I'll say those dance classes are intense. I took a tap one semester and it kicked my tail.
All right, so there's still a ton of questions. So here we have 2 minutes left. So what I would like to do is just kind of wrap this up, and I need to post Kate's link here as well. So Amy's link is in there for Big Blue Button. You can join her if you have questions, if you're in dance or if you're outside of those programs as well. Kate's will be posted here in one moment, but why don't we go through and start giving our last kind of salutations or whatever. Let's go and start with Kate. Go ahead, kick us off with saying goodbye.
Pressure. I'm so excited. This has just been a crazy semester in the summer. So I'm really excited to start this next semester. For theater students, think of me as your academic stage manager. I'm here to make sure you are on track to graduate. But the one thing to remember is always communicate with me. You always want to keep your stage manager happy, because they make sure everything goes smoothly.
All right, thank you, Kate. Ashley, what say you?
Yeah. So I'm so excited to see all of you at Pioneer Experience and in the fall. I just want to say, make sure that you're checking your emails. So, check those spam folders, make sure your Point Park email is activated. Important information is going to be coming all summer long. That's where you need to look. So be checking that.
Amy.
I just want to remind you guys that we are here for you. We love what we do. We love being a part of your academic journey, and we're here. And we know that the fall might not look exactly the way you one day thought it would look like, because we know your senior year didn't end that way. But we're here for you, and we're doing everything that we can to make sure we're connecting with you and answering your questions and providing programming and reaching out. So let us know if there's something that you need. I want to be a stage manager now. Kate, I want to do what Kate does, but I always say I'm like a second mom. I've got kids at home, but tell us what you need. And we might not be the person on campus who answers that question or does that for you, but we know who on campus can. So if you're feeling like you've got a question or you need something, just tell us, and we're here to help you. We're happy to to do that for you.
Mr. Elko, what do you have to say?
I'm going to kind of echo what Amy said, that we're here for you. You've already said that, Amy. I'll say it again. If you need any help, we're not only here for your academic goals, though. We also help you with your personal growth. So you can come to us with any issue, and we will try to find you. We'll try to connect you with the right source. With tutoring, so you know that, but there are many resources for you on campus, and we'll be your point people for that. I'm going to call myself the fun uncle since I don't have kids. Okay, I'm that dude. Trust me. But we'll probably argue, but we'll get over it too. I'm that type of family.
Be careful, because Mike will end up at your Thanksgiving table. So careful what you wish for. Uncle Mike.
Wait, and being the fun uncle, I just keep hitting the camera instead of the mute button. So,
Molly, what are your final words?
So I hope that in addition to having some of your questions answered, and we can assure you that we will get to all of them within the next 24 hours, because we know that this is a time of great excitement, but also in this situation, a time of great anxiety. You know, I know as a parent, I share concerns. How can I be sure that my daycare is safe? How can we be sure that when they go back to school that, they're not touching each other when they're in line for the water fountain? Are they going to be able to use the water? So all of these things are just a shared experience that we're all having. We are getting more and more information by the day about what our campus will look like. And we know that within the next couple of weeks, we'll be getting even more information. So first and foremost, as it always is, even prior to COVID taking over all of our lives, we care about our student safety, and we mean that in both their physical safety and also their emotional and mental well-being. So we want to be prepared to support students holistically. That's always our aim, is to make sure that every part of your experience and your growth as a person, as an academic, and as a professional to be, is being taken care of by us or by our partners across campus. So, rest assured that that is top of mind for all of us, both personally and professionally. So we are going to do everything possible within the scope of our resources, and then some, to make sure that you're safe, but also that you get to have the remarkable Point Park College experience that you deserve. You all have worked hard. Our conservatory majors are notorious overachievers. We love them. And we know how much you want to dance. I just want to dance too. I'm going over to Fun Uncle Mike's porch after this. So we want to make sure that we do whatever we can to make this as meaningful of a first year as we possibly can for you and for your family. So reach out to us. We are here for you. This is the work that we do. We are available personally in these types of chats and virtual experiences. We know the importance of human connection, even when it's virtual at this time. So please don't hesitate to reach out to us for anything that you need. No question too big, no question too small. We're here for all of it, and look forward to seeing you on campus.
All right, everyone, and I would like to thank everybody again for joining this webinar. I have the links to Amy's Big Blue Button session and Kate's, so you can feel free to exit this webinar now and join their sessions. Please fill out the survey upon exiting, and I've been getting a few questions. Everybody who attended this webinar will receive the recording of this in a few hours after it renders and posts. It will also be available on our YouTube page, which you can find Point Park CSS, and we're on Twitter and Instagram at Point Park CSS, so please give us a follow. Everybody, I hope you're well. Thank you for joining us today. Cannot wait to see everybody on campus this fall. Until next time, be safe, be happy, happy summer.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.